Hello everybody, Jose Perez, broker owner of Lotus Group Real Estate and committee member of the Greater Downey Association of Realtors, and excited to bring you guys episode number 5 of Lunch with a Top Producer. And with me is my co-host,
Luther Sanchez with Century 21 All-Stars, and I'm very excited about my up-and-coming position with the Greater DAOR, and I'm here at Hacker Sports Bar and Grill with...
This is Eloy Villamil with Remax Innovative, and I'm super excited to be here today. We're going to have an amazing time. I'm also here with my beautiful wife,
Monica Villamil. Thank you for being with us today.
thank you guys. Come on in, let's go into
All right,
Hello.
go ahead.
Welcome, DAOR members. Again here with my co-host Luther, trying to bring you guys a great 5th episode of Lunch with a Top Producer with Hackers in the beautiful Rio Hondo Golf Club. And again, want to thank our guests here today. They're going to be sharing a little bit of knowledge. How long have you guys been in the business? And what made you guys into the business? And what were you guys doing before you guys got into the business? You guys want to share that with us?
It's actually a good question. We've been in the business for 10 years now. We came in at a very rough time, but we were able to make it happen.
And before that, we were in the food industry. So
What
what
were
we
you guys
wanted
doing
to
in the food
do,
industry?
I was a waitress, Eloy was a busboy,
Yeah.
and we wanted to get married. So guess what? We jumped into real estate.
It's amazing, yeah? From servers to now
The
being
boss
top
boy.
producing team.
I was also making cakes at Sam's Club. Yeah,
True.
Wow. You're a baker too, huh?
I was a
That's
baker
panadero.
too. Yeah, panadero. Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. Thank you for sharing that. Well, I just want to go into a question I have for both of you, actually, in regards to having your spouse be on the same page with your commitment that you have in this business, because a lot of times it's very demanding because we're trying to accommodate client schedule, right? So whether or not your spouse works with you or not, in your case, of course, it's awesome that you guys are working together, but how important is it that your spouse be on the same page with you in regards to that commitment, which is that time obligation that you have towards a business?
I think that it's extremely important that you guys are on the same page if you're working with your spouse, and it just makes it more powerful. He's doing something completely different of what I'm doing, and he can maximize what he's doing. He can be the best at one area instead of trying to catch up with every single area, because being a business owner is just so many different things, and you gotta wear different hats, right?
Yes.
You guys know.
Yeah.
So you gotta be the accountant, you gotta be just so many different hats, right? So he just concentrates on selling, and I concentrate on the other side, which is the accounting, the paperwork, the contracts, paying the agents, investments, and other areas. We're just more powerful together.
Right, and also, another thing, Luther, that I do want to mention, because I seen it with a lot of other associates or some other agents that had been in the business. They're usually having issues with their wives or their partners because they don't really understand, what it takes to become a realtor.
Yeah.
They don't know that, you have to put in more hours. They don't know that this is your own business. So it takes completely, if you don't have the same type of mindset, you kind of have to work with your partner to get your partner on the same mindset so you're able to grow into the business.
Yeah, I love that saying, behind every successful man, there's an even more successful, powerful woman. I like to say it that besides every successful man, there's a powerful woman. My wife likes to remind me of that one.
That's our favorite phrase.
So it's very important to realize that once you guys, because at some point you bump heads, you can't deny that, right?
Of course. Exactly.
It's how
Especially
you
working every day together, right?
Yeah.
And
so-
living together.
Yeah. You guys live together?
I think so. Sometimes.
So once you guys overcome all those little kinks and be on the same page, it's just powerful, that synergistic effect that a husband and wife team can come in and have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was talking about, what do you see are some of the benefits and some, we want to be real and explain to our members of the DR the struggles too, right? What are some of the struggles that you see happening, and what are some of the benefits? And if there's no struggles, amazing, right? Because I can see that you can leverage your talents and she can leverage her talents,
right?
And you guys can help each other. But what do you see are some of the benefits of working together as a husband and wife team?
I think once you come into an agreement and you define the roles, everything is going to start working, much better. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have misunderstandings. It's still, you are in a partnership, the same way that you're working on your marriage, which is also a partnership, you are working in the business. And you are going to have situations where you're not going to be agreeing to what she's saying or what I'm saying. You're going to be bumping heads. But, as long as you are under the understanding that you're going to enter into an agreement, you're going to be able to work things out. Now, it's not always just, beautiful, right? But you got to work it out.
And I think that you gotta separate things. Like we kind of master, because we have so many things on our plate. We kind of master to leave our problems at home, and then when we get to the office and we have a meeting, and then we kind of fought the previous night, and we're like, "Hi guys, good morning." So it's game time, and we gotta put that face and not let everybody know that you guys didn't have a good night or a good morning. So I guess it's mastering that part where the problems at home stay at home, and when I'm in the office, even though we work together, he's my husband. Or maybe if we fought, he's still my husband, my business partner, and I respect everything that he says.
And that's amazing, because you guys are in a leadership role, so you have people following you, and it's important to do that. That's a key thing for the husband and wives, because some people do that. They don't leave the issues at home, they bring them in the office. So it's key that you guys have mastered that, number one.
For some time, my wife worked with me. Now she stays home with our baby, but that's one of the things we really were committed to. Like when it's like I hang my hat at the door and the issues don't come in. And one of the things I realized, unless you have that conscious effort that you're going to do that, you realize, hey, the things can wait. And it's amazing how you could just pick up when you get back to the office, and it'll wait. It's not that important. And if it's that much of an emergency, there's 911, right?
And then for you guys, it's a new stage, because baby is new in the picture. So
of course,
it's a new thing that you gotta master now.
Right? Congratulations too on the
Congratulations.
So how do you guys balance parenthood? Because you guys have three beautiful children. Yes, 3. And then you're business owners, husband and wife. How do you guys balance everything else? Is there some support that comes from the outside for you guys, or how do you guys work through that schedule?
Yeah.
Give us a little bit of insight on what your schedule looks like every single day.
Okay. Well, for me, in the mornings, it was an agreement that we kind of set even before having the kids, because I told Eloy, you know what? Don't make me stay at home. I don't want to be a housewife. I want to be able to do both. I want to be able to work and then have my kids. That makes me happy. So first you got to define, I guess, what agreement and what makes you happy. And with that, then we started like thinking what I needed so I can make it happen. So right now we're in a position where I can work since the morning. Like I get up in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, go and do my workout, and then I have my nanny at that time, and she's helping me take care of the kids because we work out together. And meanwhile, she's putting the kids to the shower, preparing lunches and breakfast, and then when I come back, just get ready and run to work. So, and after that, I just work until 3 o'clock, and I can dedicate more time to the kids after 3 o'clock when I pick them up. And after school, now I'm in a new stage where I gotta run with the kids and help with the activities, because they have activities. They have soccer, they have dancing, they have basketball, and that's a part of the whole thing. Being parents. So I guess just get all the help that you need, and I have my nanny, and my nanny helps me. She has a split schedule in the morning or in the evening. She works 2 times a day.
It's a good support system.
That's what I need.
So that's technically what I was gonna say. It's funny because a lot of times I see people and they're like thinking about what are the systems that I gotta go put into place. Right. So one of the things that you got to think about is this. Systems are good, but the system has to work for you. So you got to go out there and you got to go and generate the systems that are going to be working with what you want and what's going to make you happy. So one of the things that allows us to do whatever we want to do is having the ability to create and develop different systems that are going to work with the goals that we have, with the end result in mind. And so that's why Monica's able to do what she's able to do, because we created a system that supports what she wants to do. That's the same reason why I'm able to do what I'm able to do, because I created different systems that support what I want to do. So those systems would allow you to work hard, but at the same time, it's going to allow you to enjoy your life, and it's going to allow you to leverage yourself and to spend time with the people that you love.
Most importantly, we learn to listen to each other's needs, right? What does he need? What do I need? And we talk it over, but we listen.
It's crazy that he mentioned systems. We always talk about systems, and we actually have an event coming up, all systems. And, you know, people don't know that system stands for an acronym, and when you start implementing systems in your business and in your life, you're able to leverage your time. System stands for save yourself some time, energy, money, and stress. And that's exactly what you've implemented in your business that's made you guys so successful. So I commend you guys on that. So systems is key on this point.
Definitely.
We were talking about working on your mindset, and you said that was a big contributing factor towards the way you guys work together. So I know that you listen to some good stuff and read some good stuff, but how is it that you implement it and like adapt things that are going to between you and the agents that work with you so that it's actually put into practice and implemented into those systems to develop the mindset?
I think you know, when it comes to the mindset, you gotta learn to think different. You know, it's not just about, you know, I'm gonna pick up a book, I'm gonna pick up an audio, you know, and then you just don't do anything with it. You know, if you start reading something, you have to start implementing it. And you know, mindset, you know, in reality, mindset, what it is having the ability to create new habits. And the problem is that sometimes we don't understand what are the habits that we have. So the first thing that you got to do is you got to take a look into yourself and see what are the habits that I have today that are either benefiting me or affecting me to become someone more effective. And then once you define what is it exactly that you want to do, then you got to start implementing new habits. So that's really what mindset is all about. You know, mindset is not just about, I'm going to tell myself that I want to become better. I'm going to tell myself every morning that I'm going to be doing these things. No, it's actually taking action and creating those little habits that are going to help you develop into the person that you want to become.
Sometimes it's it does. Sometimes it's a little difficult to see that in yourself. For example, in our office, we have a book club, so we read the book all together as a group, and then we help each other identify those habits. As you read things that apply to you, you share, and then others maybe see things like, hey, this is what I see that maybe you can improve on.
Right.
Do you guys have such an accountability thing between you guys to make sure you're advancing in your mindset?
Well, I mean, yeah, Monica and I were always masterminding, and I think, you know, what's funny is that now we have made it more like a habit. You know, when we go out on a date, you know, we're actually, you know, talking about it. You know, what is it that you think that we can improve? And, you know, and what's funny is that now majority of our conversations are about improvement, you know, instead of actually, like, you know, sometimes I see other couples and they're arguing about the situations that they have in regards to money, or, you know, when we go to dates, we listen to other conversations, and, you know, yeah, they're in a date, but they're actually making an argument instead of,
Or they don't talk.
yeah, or they don't talk at all, or they're
They're
only
not fun.
Official.
you know, they're not really doing anything beneficial to continue improving themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that's what mindset is all about. You know, mindset is having the ability to think, you know, and foresee what is it that I need to implement within myself to continue to grow.
And sometimes the limitations that we have, you don't have to go. I mean, a coach helps a lot, but sometimes you don't have to go to a big coach. Sometimes just by talking to your own spouse helps so much, you know. And Eloy has been my mentor forever, and I guess he always confides in me and feels great when he has a problem or limitation. We just mastermind about it and try to find a solution.
Since we're putting a lot on the table with the fact that Eloy makes cakes, how is it that, just give me an example of like one of his needs that he just recently brought, maybe on the last date night, that you thought, wow, that's, you know, it was a good thing that you guys worked on that.
One of the needs?
Yeah.
I believe one of the needs, and I guess it's mutual, but it's dating. Like he just mentioned, sometimes when we recently were in a challenge, and a lot of people know, we were like back to back in 2 challenges, so I didn't want to go out for a while, but we really saw the difference between going out together on a date, consistently, because we had a
Every week.
Thursday night weekly. And then after 3 months, we were kind of starting to arguing, and we were like, what's going on? Why are we like arguing? And then we noticed that because I was on my challenges and couldn't eat a lot and didn't want to go out because I didn't want the temptation, then I was damaging and affecting our relationship. So one of our needs, and then we pay really attention to that, is having time for ourselves.
That's awesome.
That's key as a couple.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We always do the Friday night date nights, and it helps. It's a big
Yeah.
contributor. Yeah.
Date nights. I gotta take that. My
Yeah,
girlfriend.
you gotta
But
do it.
But it's
Make sure.
weekly, not
But it's
daily.
weekly, yeah.
But don't forget to do the things you would do when you actually dated. That's a difference.
That's
You know, It's
true.
not just like the
Exactly.
rhythm of date
So there's
night.
a little tip to make sure that you keep your spouses and significants happy if you're both working in the business, right?
Well, I mean, even if you're not both working in the business, I think it's an essential part to keep your family and marriage together. It's like a little plant. If you're not watering the plant, then the plant is going to die. So there's plants that require to be watered every day. There's plants that require to be watered once a week, once a month. So question you got to ask yourself is, which kind of plant do you have next to you? And how is it that you're going to take care of it?
There you go, guys. Start looking into the plants in Home Depot or something.
From baker to
From baker to
From
plant.
baker to gardener,
To
top
gardener,
producer.
we have it all here at the Greater Down
Down
Association. All right, one of the questions I really wanted to ask that a lot of agents seem to be concerned with right now is the market and the crash that's coming, right? That misconceived notion of that horrible time in the market that's coming. It's going to be a challenge for all the people that are especially new and even seasoned agents. So since you've been, well, we both have been in the cycle that happened last where we experienced all that good stuff, what is it that both you're doing to prepare yourself?
Right.
And also, how important do you think the fundamentals in real estate and the basics are going into such a market?
I think there's always a talk. You guys know, and I know, right? Monica knows this. People are always concerned about something. Whether the weather is going to change. We're going to go into summer season, and then we're going to go into Christmas season, and then the market is going to crash, and then the market is going to take a pick. Now there's going to be a buyer's market. Now there's going to be a seller's market. Right? There's always a concern.
Yeah.
I tell you one thing, if you understand the basics and you understand and you do the basic work on a continuous basis, day in, day out, there's no reason why to worry about it.
That consistency.
The consistency of work is going to help you. Now,
That's good.
is it probably going to get more difficult? Yeah, it's going to get more difficult once it gets better. But, the thing is this. If you don't do the activities that you need to do on a consistent basis, once the market crashes or something happens to the market, right, everyone is going to get scared,
Yeah.
right? And if you're not used to doing,
Thank
a
you.
lot of work,
Thank you.
yeah, you're going to be wiped out within the market. That's going to take you away. Same thing is going to happen. So what you need to do is, you need to understand one thing. I got to work hard today, and if anything happens with the market, I got to work even harder. The real question is this: are you prepared to work hard? Did you get into real estate to see real estate as a career, or did you just got into real estate because you want to have a flexible schedule?
Yeah. And I remember you working hard. One of the things I admire from you when you were working at our company, and I got to be side by side in the offices with you, is that you would really burn the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
You would stay really late. And I don't know if you slipped the cleaning people some money, but they would they would kick me out and they would let him stay even longer. I was like, what's up?
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
was-
talking like 10 o'clock at night already, right?
I was just nicer to them than you were to me.
Se
I'll
ponía
take that.
pilas.
Yeah. So I would always call him, there was a word that we were always like just saying pilas, pilas, and this guy has like fully charged pilas. And I would do it. So how do you keep your eye on the,
Batteries.
yeah, that means batteries.
Yeah.
So what is it that keeps you like having your eye on the prize to be able to have that energy? Because it's coming from somewhere, right?
Right. And I think I talk about this with everybody. The problem that we have in society, in our community today, is that most people, you ask them, what's your plan? They don't have a plan. You know, one of the things that I learned early in my career is this, you know, if you really want to be successful at something, don't just make a plan for a year or two. You know, get a plan, think about it, and plan it out for 10, 15, 20 years. And so once you know where you're going to be in 10, 15, 20 years from now, you're going to get excited about your goal. You're going to be like, hey, you know, I got to wake up in the morning. I got to do my activities because I already know where I'm going to be 20 years from now. See, like the place that I'm in today, I knew, you know, back in those days that I was going to be here today doing the you know, enjoying the results that I created. That's what used to get me excited to be in the office at 7 a.m., leaving the office at 10:30 p.m. every single day. But if you don't have anything that gets you excited, anything that is going to wake you up in the morning, then you just don't have a vision. You don't know what you're doing things.
And there's a lot of things that derail us from that sometimes, right? Whether it be in a transaction, an investment, anything,
Distractions.
will distract you from that. How is it that you get back on track when you do that? Because it happens, right?
I mean, it's always going to happen, and it's just like I told everybody, right? Your plan, the goals that you have, the blueprint of everything that you want to accomplish, it's gonna be like when you're doing a seller's or buyer's presentation, having the script in front of you. If you're scripted, right, and the seller or the buyer, it's gonna take you out of the script. You already know, I gotta go back into my script. If you have a blueprint of how you want your business to look 10, 15, 20 years from now, anything comes your way to take you out of the course that you're taking, you're going to go back and you're going to jump right into it because you already know where you're going. The problem and the real question is this: do you actually know where you want to be 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now? And if the answer is no, Luther, then people should be looking into that.
It reminds me of Earl Nightingale, The Stranger's Secret, and he talks about a boat taking off and a boat with a map and a boat without a map. Which boat's going to get to its destination? The one without a map is going to crash and burn into the rocks, while the one with the map is going to get to the destination it seeks. So it's key that you said that you need a plan. You know, so what are 3 things that you guys would tell new people getting into the business that they should be focusing on, and 3 things that you'll tell the people who've been in the business and are kind of stuck right now and not moving forward to push them to that next level?
I want to say number 1, understanding the basics. I think that's going to be key. The basics are never going to change. The problem is this, you know, something else is going to come out, right? I remember when people used to get business out of the magazines. I remember when people used to get business out of Craigslist, right? I remember where people used to get a lot of business out of Zillow, right? People are jumping into Facebook. People are jumping into this. People are jumping into that. But they're forgetting about the basics. There's always going to be something that is going to make it look somehow a lot easier than it is. And people are going to move into that direction. So number 1 is stick to the basics. Right? Number 2, you gotta work hard, regardless of the circumstances. Continue to work hard. Don't get caught up into, you know, hey, you know, I got a great month, I made $20,000, you know, I am killing it, I'm making a lot of money, and then you stop. You have to stay consistent. You know? And number 3 is you gotta show up regardless of the circumstances. Because that's another problem. You know, something happens in your life, I'm not showing up today. Why? Oh, my stomach is hurting. I understand. Oh, I have a headache. I understand. I'm not going to show up, right? You know, so regardless of the circumstances, you got to show up. I remember when, you know, Monica's father passed away, you know, she continued to show up into the business. And I asked her, baby, why do you continue to show up? She's like, because I know he's at a better place. It bothers me. It hurts me that he died. But I know that I have to continue working on my dreams. And I know I have to continue working on my goals. Because it's not just about me. It's about my whole family. And when you include more people into your goals, your desire gets better.
One of my favorite sayings is, when the promise is clear, the price is easy. So your promise was very clear. So the price you pay, it's not even paying a price, it's an investment in your overall plan.
No, and I admire, I have huge admiration for both of you guys coming
Thank
into
you.
business. I was a new agent. They came and spoke to our office. And your story is so powerful. And it sends a message that anything's possible. Because you guys came here from Mexico, right?
Yes.
With no money, not speaking English, not knowing anything. And now you guys have both created a beautiful, wealthy life for yourselves and your kids. So
Definitely.
I want to commend you guys for being able to work because you
Thank
guys
you.
are a walking example of the American dream. So
And I want to add something else, maybe a bonus to those tips. Identify opportunity and save while you're making good money, and don't get caught up in the good market. While you are getting all these sales and making all this money, and then you want to get a better lifestyle, maybe instead save your money so you can be ready for the next opportunity, because we are going to get, if you follow the history for the past 100 years, you're going to see that the cycles are up, and when it's up, what's next? It's
Exactly.
going to come down. So in the next few years, we don't know when it's going to come down, but be prepared for that opportunity, because it is coming down and you need those savings so you can take advantage of it.
And when he was talking about getting those 20,000 commissions, because some of them are pretty sizable, right? You make the proper investments and buy assets and not liabilities, right?
Right.
That a lot of people kind of do the opposite of nowadays.
Yeah.
there's more liability than assets.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to leave us with as we wrap up, for whether it be new or seasoned agents that you feel will contribute to them?
I think, be smart, like Luther said, be smart with your money. Live below your means. Have a plan. Think about what you want to do with your money. How is it that you want to create wealth for yourself? One of the things that I see a lot in real estate, and it's because, we don't work for a major corporation, we don't have a retirement plan, right? So think about your retirement. What's your exit strategy? How do you plan to leave the business, and how much money do you plan to leave the business with?
Yeah.
And by when?
How long did it take you to start implementing that asset building portfolio? Because I see a lot of agents trying to fly before they can walk or even crawl. So they do a couple of deals and they want to go out and be an investor now. So putting in the work day in and day out, how long did it take you to start being like that?
Well, it was like about 6 years after we had joined the business. You could be a seasoned realtor who have never flipped and don't have the experience. The opportunity is out there. All you gotta do is really focus on what you wanna do and start putting money aside, like now.
Yeah, no, but I think part of it, and to kind of answer your question is, first thing that you got to do is you got to live below your means, and you need to understand, your real estate transactions are going to help you to survive. The problem that I see today is that everybody wants to become an investor when it's not really the time to become an investor, and so this is what they do. They replace selling real estate with wanting to go into flipping property, and so they want to replace their income with flipping properties. That's not a true investor. A true investor is going to invest into real estate to build the capital. You're not going to touch that income because you're going to continue growing that income for your future. You're going to survive off the real estate transactions that you continue doing.
They forget about what got them there in the first place, right?
Exactly.
You gotta keep that money flowing.
Yeah.
And so now they're going to spend everything they're making, and something wrong happens in one transaction or two,
And they lose it all.
they lose everything.
Because
they
that's
have.
what's supposed to happen. When you do all the work and all the things that come before that, that's what's supposed to happen. One of the things that Joe always says, Joe Villascusa, is that when you walk into a McDonald's and they put in an order of a Big Mac meal, and the employees don't get all excited and start high-fiving each other. That's what's supposed to happen, right? So if you carry out the business the way you're supposed to, you don't have to go out and celebrate and spend the money because you close a couple of deals, So
Key, live below your means,
Yeah.
right? And invest the money right, and don't run before you crawl, right? So
Definitely.
appreciate that message.
I think in conclusion, what I want to tell everybody is, be smart. Be smart with your money. Be smart with the way that you work. Have a plan. Plan for the future. Plan for your retirement, plan for your exit strategy, plan for your business. And if you don't know how to do it, there's a lot of people that you can, probably reach out to that can help you with it. But if you don't really think about it, you never think about it, right? Most people don't plan to fail. They fail to plan. So don't be one of them.
Guys, thank you very much for tuning in, and stay tuned for next month's episode, which is also going to be amazing. Thank you to our guests for being here and giving of your time, which I know is very limited.
And we hope you found some great value, as our goal is to hit everybody, whether you're new in the business or a seasoned agent, so that we bring value to all the members. And thank you for being members of the Greater Association of Downey.
See you next time.